uh, kind of like, big ending. And I feel like SSS Gridman was one of the first things that we reviewed. Actually, it might have been Dynazenon too. I think we did like
Yeah,
back to
I
back
think we
reviews
did
on
like
them.
a quick
Very early
yeah,
episodes.
we did a Gridman recap kind of because Dynazenon was kind of coming out at the time, and
Yeah,
then we covered Dynazenon, I believe. Uh,
yeah, we did.
Two really
Um,
awesome anime series, and this movie was really good. I really wish we got it as like a series. I really wish we got a little more. It was a fantastic movie. The cut.
I felt like the movie was at a good pace. My thing is I wish that it wasn't such a huge delay between the movie and the series coming out, because we basically had to like wait an extra year longer than everybody else.
I just lost you for like
Oh, you're good.
20 seconds.
You're good. I'm just talking about the huge delay that we had.
Yeah.
So basically, it was out. It was available. It seemed like they did have an English sub for it in 2023, and for some reason, Crunchyroll sat on it. They had the rights for the movie,
Yeah.
and they just kind of like dumped it in October of 2024. There was like, yeah, it's coming out like next week.
Yeah.
Like no really big
They
fanfare
super
or anything
dumped
like
it. Like,
that.
and they've been touring this movie around the world. Like, they've been having tons of events for it. They still are having events for it. There was just a Gridman event announced for, I forgot where it was, but like they pretty much have it's pretty much Akane's room set up. There's Gridman posters, a lot. It's funny. They said the Gridman characters, but it really showed mostly the girls, as the subreddit is right
Well,
now.
well, if you go on Crunchyroll's shop or on Amazon, and you look at recent merch, you have one figure for Ultraman in his like
Grid
ultimate form
Gridman.
that, well, not even the full, yeah, Gridman, not even in his like super duper ultimate form at the end, but like the like base ultimate form. And then you have a $500 statue set of the girls. So I think we all
And
know what the
it's
priority
kind
is
of a shame
merch wise.
because the thing about this movie, as well as the two anime series, Dynazenon and SS Gridman, is that they have some of the best kaiju designs, like almost ever. Like they are really damn impressive. Uh, and if you look at the team that went into designing the kaiju on here, it's insane. They got somebody different behind each of the villain kaijus for this movie. I mean, they had Hiroshi Maruyama, who's like a veteran Ultraman kaiju designer. He's done Tiga, Dyna, Nice. He's done pretty much almost every Ultraman series, from Tiga to 7X. He's designed kaiju for. Uh, he did like everything for Tiga. I'm telling you, like the Tiga Dyna Gaia series, like everything he designed. Uh, we had Shinji Nishikawa, who just did the Godzilla Encyclopedia. He's did tons of the kaiju designs for the Heisei era. He was the one that designed Bagan, Mecha King Ghidorah, Batra, the whole Rebirth of Monsters series. He even did Dawn of the Monsters, Agnitor for the video game. That recent McDonald's mecha that they did that Godzilla commercial for last year. He designed that mecha. So he's like a profound kaiju designer. And just so many other ones on this. And just throughout the series and just this movie alone, there's some incredible designs.
Yeah, no, they were really great, and it's I don't know if, obviously, I think the series was greatly affected, at least in the U.S., was greatly affected by the Funimation acquisition by Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
It was kind of right when Dynazenon was finishing its physical release. Like it
Yeah.
just got a physical release. I think it was like one of the last Funimation
Yeah.
releases that actually happened.
And I think COVID played a part in it too, because like Gridman came out in 2018. SSSS Gridman came out in 2018, and Dynazenon came out in 2021. But we didn't get those. We didn't get Dynazenon in 2021. That one took a while for us to get. I feel like, if I'm wrong, I don't remember.
No, Dynazenon had a summer.
No, it did. It did have a summer release. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if there was issues. Maybe they tried to do a dub and they couldn't get cast members back, or maybe they saw the movie and felt like it wasn't worth doing it. I don't know what the story is as to why.
Yeah,
they had such a long delay with releasing the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if they were,
because it seems like the subtitles were done, and for them to just go, let's just throw it up on.
Yeah.
There was very little fanfare with the release, so I don't know.
No, not here in the States.
What happened?
There was very little here in the States. There was very little fanfare.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't know if they were like, "Oh, do we do a dub?" And they were just like going back and forth for years, and they were like, "Fuck, we're not going to do the dub."
Yeah, or like, could they not get the cast, or did they feel like, hey, like, if we dub this, no one, the fan base isn't here, we're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
To do it, I don't know what the story is as to why, for the movie, they just decided like, hey, we're gonna wait a year and then just release it with subs that we've had. The subs were very. I don't really like super complaining about subs, and I know people don't like dubs that often. Some of the language in the subs was a little weird. Like, I don't think we would get a series now. Like a dub where they'd constantly use the term "going steady." That's not really a like. This isn't the 1950s.
That was a funny one I would always laugh at that one. Yeah.
I'm like, if we got a dub, they would probably change that to something else.
One of the plot points to this movie is the whole time Yuta, our Gridman host, struggles to ask out Rika to be his girlfriend. And this series takes place 2 months after the events of SS Gridman. Yuta has no memory of it, while Rika and Utsumi are the only two people that remember everything that happened. Yuta no longer is the Gridman host at the beginning, and he's trying to remember it, but he can't.
He can't remember it. So, we're not going to go super heavy into plot because it's.
But that was one of the plot points of the movie. Eventually, the Kaiju do return, and along with the whole Neon Genesis high school crew, they bail Yuta out again. I thought it was great that Caliber Samurai was the first one to appear and save the crew. And bring him back to the store. Yuta kind of sort of during that attack kind of remembers. He runs back to Junk and Gridman's there waiting for him, and boom, he's the host again. Pretty cool seeing the Neon Genesis crew back, and then Galma shows up. He's now part of the Neon Genesis crew. That's where he went at the end of SSS.Dynazenon.
Yeah, so he's basically he is the Dynazenon in the dinosaur form.
Yeah.
It's no longer a mecha like it's the same thing as the other Neon Genesis crew. Like they turn into those mechs. So it's really funny though because he keeps slipping up. He almost keeps saying his name's Galma.
But he's Dynarex. He's Rex now.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Rex.
Yeah.
But eventually we start seeing ghosts, and it ends up the universes are coming all together. So that's how we get the Dynazenon crew back into this universe, is because all the universes are getting crunched together, because at the end of the day Akane Akane is the person who created this multiverse. So it's that's what they're dealing with, and because it also wouldn't make sense timeline wise that this was only 2 months after the events of Gridman.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Auntie and the second are like full blown adults.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and even the Dynazenon crew are older too. Like, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank on it. Chiss, the younger sister, I can't think of his name. Koyomi. She is like way older now.
Yeah, she's definitely way aged up.
Yuta does not seem older though. He doesn't seem much older.
Yeah, Yuta seems the same. Like, a lot of the other characters do seem the same. I think again, they wanted to put some fan service in there, and I think it would have been a little weird to have fan service for a character that young.
Yeah, that could have been.
It's the one weird gripe with this. I've actually seen this complained about in other, just because I follow a lot of like just anime stuff online. A lot of the common complaints these days, at least from American fans, is like they are way over the top with the fan service in a lot of these animes these days for characters that are way too young to be having fan service.
Yeah, I mean, still Rika is still like. Only like what were they, a third year? Were they? I forgot what year they were in high school.
Yeah, I think she was like just going into high school.
Well, they were in their next grade.
She was like way advanced.
They were in their next grade.
Rika's 16.
Yeah. Still, there you go.
Still, yeah, and she's like one of the older people in this. It's a little weird. To be honest with you. Exactly. And that is a common complaint. It's just like one of those things you just have to kind of like turn the ages off in your head because it just gets way too.
Yeah. Calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
Especially with one of the power-ups that happen. Two of the power-ups that happen later in the movie. Yeah. It's quite the display. But it's to the point where like it kind of like was distracting in the movie.
Yeah.
It was very distracting. She just does have an awesome tattoo, though.
Oh, yeah.
Which does come into effect.
The gold strand tattoo, yes. That was a cool factor.
Yeah. But, they start coming in, and there's a script for a Gridman play that's kind of a big plot line of it. And it keeps getting rewritten because people didn't like it. And they're like, we're just going to add more characters to it and take out the whole villain and like the plot of the movie gets more convoluted and the script gets more convoluted. And it gets
very
together.
Meta too. It's very like sort of like talking about Gridman itself too, like with between fans and Saburaya's handling of it, and like nobody owns Gridman, but like
it's very strange. And of course these are with characters that know that they are in a made-up universe because the creator of the universe was a character in it, and was the main villain of the first season,
but then became a god.
So what ends up happening is things just get more and more weirder. It turns out Gridman kind of took over the universe, but also by taking over the universe, his insecurities kind of manifested
the Kaiju
manifested the Kaiju, and like a little bit of like chaos got into his insecurity, and that's what's causing all of this to happen.
And so all the Kaiju, all their names are plays on the name Gridoman, which is a misspelling that happened in the 31st episode of the original Gridman series. So, like, we have Demorgan, which if you rearrange the letters, you'll get Griddleman. Gridoman. There's Domigran, you got Gridoman. And then there's Nor Dogma. They just added an extra O, but Gridoman is still in there. And then the final boss is Mad Origin. I think they threw like an extra I in there or something like that. I forgot. I think that still makes Gridoman. But yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's an extra eye in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the Demogorgon one. That was like the King Caesar kind of beastly with the big
Yeah.
claws. It was such an interesting design, and that was kind of the kaiju that like you knew something was way off
Yes.
in the movie, because it got to the point where things were already
Yeah.
really really weird. Like Alexis Keebler was Rika's dad,
Yes.
and it just didn't make any
Yeah.
sense
It got like
whatsoever.
really crazy at one point.
And so
All the
like
kaiju also
they're
each have a
fighting this
different.
kaiju. It's a really long fight scene, and they are throwing everything. They're Gridman and Grid Knight are back. He's got the Goldberm power up. They've switched gear back and forth. They're different power ups, and the whole point, you're like watching this, and you're like, what is happening? Like this fight's getting so weird, and also they're at such a powered up state to fight this one kaiju. Like, why is
Yeah.
this? This doesn't make any sense. Uh, so the fight ends, and then Grid Knight comes out of nowhere, another Grid Knight, and kills Gridman and the powered up Grid Knight that's there. And like they like pixelate and like disappear. And it turns out that's when we get this whole Gridman Universe
Yeah.
reveal. And he's like, we just need to reset the universe. Everyone's gonna come back, but like we have to hold back Gridman for a little bit because he's just making things like way
Yeah.
too crazy in here.
Yeah. And then you notice each of these kaiju all have a little different aspect of Gridman in them. A lot of them are usually inverted or negative color schemes of certain Gridman suits, but each of them have something like the head crest integrated into their body, or the shield, or some sort of something that is from Gridman. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that this whole universe is just Gridman making all these things happen now. And yeah, the rest of the movie kind of just goes on, and they're just trying to get it balanced out and stop all the universes from colliding. Because eventually, if all the universes do collide, there won't be anything. Supposedly.
So what ends up happening is they end up telling Yuta, like, hey, like the solution to this is you need to merge with Gridman.
Yeah.
Like not the Gridman in Junk, but like the actual universe Gridman. So he's like, yeah, sure, yeah, no problem. I could do that. And then like Rika's like, he didn't even think twice about it. Like, are we supposed to be going out? He's supposed to be asking me. But they have like this big kaiju attack. Everyone's running. Yuta's like, I gotta just run and get there and get back to Junk and fuse with Gridman. That's where we get the moment for Yogami, where he finally does his access domination.
Yes.
Well, instance domination, which I was really hoping would get used more in the series.
Yeah, the kaiju
in this movie.
kaiju eugenics really got snubbed in this. Yomogi did his instance flash. Yeah.
Yeah, his instance domination, and I was like, he like barely was able to control the kaiju. Again, it is a kaiju that's made by Gridman, but like, I thought that was gonna be like a big like part of this movie, and it was kind of just like a, oh yeah, he can control kaiju. At this point, Yogami for some reason is the only person from the Dynazenon universe that's left. Everyone else has gotten erased, and for some reason it didn't go after him. And he was able to hold them off for a little bit longer, but eventually, we get this whole thing with Yuta. He merges with Gridman Universe, and they actually seize the real. Again, I keep blanking on her name.
Akane.
Akane. Yeah, Akane.
Yeah.
He sees the real Akane. She's like doing community service,
Cleaning up,
and she's like, you're doing great. Like you got this. And he goes into the universe, and she's like, I'm gonna give him a little bit of help.
Yeah.
So she does instance domination on Alexis Keebler, and she has like this magical girl power up, She's wearing this ridiculous outfit.
She's wearing what's her name's outfit from the Kaiju Eugenesis, basically.
Yeah, it's like way too much. And then she goes into Keebler, and then they get like a complete remodel as well, which is actually really cool. Because she was almost operating him like he was like a mecha suit. So they're fighting with each other, all this stuff, and like she's like really like the god of this universe. So she brings in like everyone. The Dynazenon crew's back. Auntie and the Second, they get their Dynazenon designs back. So he's like, oh, like the timelines are finally merging together. So we're all caught up. And then the Second, she gets a mecha that looks like the kaiju that she's based off of from the original Gridman series. Yeah. But then she like turns into it.
She's like, it was pretty weird. It was pretty wild.
But then she also got a ridiculous outfit also.
Yeah.
But like it's like really weird because like she's in the kaiju and like you think she's gonna be like a small pilot, but then like the screen comes down and she's like the size of the kaiju inside of it.
She is a kaiju.
Yeah, she is a kaiju, but like it's like a mecha that she's controlling. It was really weird. So then like she has like Shu and Rika come here with go into like the mecha with her, and she was just like, this is really weird.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But they do this big epic final battle, and the universe is saved. Everyone returns to where they're supposed to be. And the Gridman play goes on, and Yuta finally asks out Rika.
Yeah. One of like the main. Also Alexis Keebler disappears.
He merges with the final. He merges with the final boss. The final boss like jacks him, and it's like, I'm using your body now. But
but then he like comes back at the end, and he like turns to dust.
Yeah.
And like. Anke has like a big like moment with kind of like everyone. Galma goes back, but one of the plot points is at some point the princess was like selling crab.
Yeah, king crab.
So he bought a king crab from her. So he gives it to Yogami, and he's like, eat this with your family. And then he's like, they're going back to their universe with Yume, and he's like, do you want to eat it with me? And she's like, that's for your family. And he's like, you are my family.
And then Vin Diesel like, shows up, and he's like, damn right.
Yeah, and then Vin Diesel shows up. But then, yes, we finally get the, they have the play. It's like everyone kind of thinks it's a comedy, so everyone's laughing. So then, like, Yuta has this conversation with Rika. They ask each other out, and then, of course, they are just super awkward after that. And that's the end of the movie. Roll credits, end credit scene. We have Yomogi with... this, I don't know how much crab they got out of that crab, but it was a lot of crab meat on the table. And he asks his mom, like, oh, so how is it? And she's just like, eh. And that was the end.
Yeah, it was a very, like, I'm like, that's the post-credit scene, all right. Yeah.
It's just, how's the crab? Yeah, it's okay.
But what's pretty cool about this series is basically it implied that even the original Gridman and Superhuman Samurai Squad were all part of the Gridman universe, is what it comes to at the end. They had all these parallels. So Superhuman Samurai Squad, part of the SSSS for Dynazenon and Gridman, now we know why, because it's kind of canon now.
Yeah. And, I think it gave a lot of closure to a lot of the plot points. I think it tied everything together. Yes, things get weird in the movie. We didn't even do an amazing job of explaining it because, again, we don't have the drugs to do that. It's an out there plot. I think it's a movie that you could watch multiple times and pick up on multiple things over and over again that were into there.
The other problem is it was a very large gap in between the two series, then this movie. It was... I kind of wish Crunchyroll would have put the two recap movies on, because there is a SSSS Gridman and an SSS Dynazenon two movies for both of those series that are kind of like the abridged version of the series, and kind of like, here it is. So, I mean, they did do like some very brief recaps in the movie, but it kind of wasn't enough.
Very brief.
So I did feel a little rusty. We honestly probably should have done a rewatch of both of those series again. But I've already watched Gridman twice. I mean, I would definitely go back and watch it. I mean, I love these series. They're really good.
I've watched both series at least twice, I think.
So,
but there's so many little things in each of them where it's like, you really need to pick up on a lot of that stuff, and it's just a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, incredible kaiju designs. The fights are just out of control, out of your mind.
They really are.
Like,
it's quite
amazing. I really don't know why like this is like not a series talked about in the kaiju community a lot. It's always like kind of perplexed me. Like, even when Gridman was running and Dynazenon, like, nobody talked about it. There was like one dude I went to college with.
It's an anime.
Yeah.
I think people just discriminate against the fact that it's an anime. And I think it's the same thing as the Ultraman anime and the Ultraman manga. Yeah. Where it's just like, we talk to Ultraman fans. I even asked we're in a big Ultraman group chat. And I asked, does anyone read the manga?
And they go, what manga?
And everyone's like, they're like, the Spider-Man one? I'm like, it's been over a decade this manga's been running. Like, and these are hardcore, like, Ultraman fans, and they don't read it. So I think that there's a stigma between the anime and the manga for, like, the Toku fan base. For some reason, they're not a fan of it.
Yeah. I mean, I myself have never been a massive anime person. I like to stick to the kaiju stuff, but this is so damn good.
No, it really is. I would honestly, if they could do a Gridman manga, I mean, I would be all over that. And I think that might be a better platform for these series than the anime, because I feel like you can get really into the stories there.
Build up the manga, and then, hey, maybe you get the audience from there and pull it over to a series finally, you know, like Kaiju number 8, Go-Go Loser Ranger. Even the latest one is Red Ranger Isekai series.
I think that's going to be the next thing I watch.
Yeah, I want to watch that too.
I only have 2 more episodes of Daima.
Oh, nice. All right.
I binged watched Kaiju number 8. I'm going to reread it because I think I'm getting the next volume within the next day or 2.
Nice.
So I'm going to reread the whole series and catch up to the current volume, which I may or may not have already read past. I'm not sure. But
it's such a good series.
It is an amazing series. And I feel like this is something that Super Riot could do with the Gridman thing. It's so good. And like, they don't even mention it on their stuff. They're always very Ultraman focused, I feel like. Which is fine, but like, can you work out a deal with Deke to get Superhuman Samurai Squad re-released on home media? Can you work out a deal with Mill Creek to maybe redo the subs or do something for the Gridman release? Because that was like one of the big things, was like everyone was like, this Gridman release from Mill Creek was kind of trash.
What would be cool? I mean, everyone wants the Gridman release. Discotheque Superhuman Samurai Squad Blu-ray set. They've been doing some 90s series, Saturday morning stuff.
That would be something.
The thing is, it's Soberaya. This isn't some Metal Warriors or, you know, it's not Kamen Rider, so I don't know if it's something. I don't even know.
So this is the thing I don't understand about Super Riot.
The rights are actually to that.
I don't know if Deke owns a piece of that or what. I'm sure there's a deal that can be made.
I'm trying to see what.
My thing with it is, we always hear about these like strict quality control things that Super Riot has.
These were Mill Creek releases, I'm just realizing too. With Superhuman Samurai Squad back in the day, these sets are like expensive as hell now if you will try to buy them.
I think Volume 1 is still affordable, but Volume 2 is basically
We
unattainable.
got DHX Media. I'm trying to see some names on here. Both of them say Mill Creek. Then we have Cookie Jar. I don't know where the rights go. Soberaya's name is on the back of this. This is the first thing you see, 1993. So...
Yeah, but did that fall under that old Golden release where it's like they really didn't have the rights?
Yeah.
That's where things get complicated with Super Raya. But like, it's the things you always hear, they have these very strict quality control things. But then their home media stuff, there's always something with it.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, how did this slip through the cracks?
Yeah.
Even with not, I'm not even blaming Mill Creek for this, but even back to like their Shin Ultraman, that was plagued with issues.
Yeah, I'm sure Cleopatra was catching heat for that. Luckily, Raven Banner knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, because they delayed an extra month to make sure everything was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, dude, if Discotech could do it, I would love it. But I feel like they're too sold in with Mill Creek, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I wish Mill Creek would go back and be like, hey, like, we're redoing Gridman.
Yeah. Let's right this wrong.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a difference between... I'm assuming there is a difference between...
It's a massive difference.
And
Yeah, because it was...
So it's not just a matter of just including both tracks.
It's completely different cast. No, you could... Yeah. You had... what was his name? One of the Lawrence kids that was in there. I can't think of his name right now.
Who?
The Lawrences. Who was it?
I don't even know who the Lawrences are.
You know, from the 90s. What kind of 90s kid are you? Come on. You know Matthew Lawrence, Joey Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Superhuman Samurai Squad. Who is the host? I'm trying to think right now. I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know any of the other Lawrences. You know, they should have done is they should have got...
Matthew Lawrence. It was Matthew Lawrence, yeah. I always forget what the third one is.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Andrew was the third one. Joey, Matt, and Andrew.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just one of those weird things. Hopefully in the future we get something, but you never know. A physical release would be cool. I don't see that happening. And, of course, for some reason, Super Raya's Japanese releases just don't include English sub or dub tracks that they've already paid for to be made. I don't understand it. Make it make sense.
They got to go for it. They might do it. Let's have some hope.
Yeah. I was looking into buying a Japanese import, but if I can't even read it, what's the point?
Yeah. It's a shame. I just don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. But I see the movie, watch the movie. You guys are gonna really, really enjoy it. Give it a shot if you're like not an anime person. Just really, I think you will like it.
I highly recommend watching the series first. So you definitely got to watch the series.
Yeah, you can't just jump into this.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
you need to watch those.
The recap that they give is laughable. The recaps that they give.
It's enough for you to remember some key plot points, but not enough to watch the movie.
And if you have the Crunchyroll subscription and you're watching it anyway, watch the series first. Highly recommend. Just binge watch the two of them. You're going to be hooked. I remember one of the guys I went to college with after I graduated college. I don't know how. I ended up just like seeing him mention Gridman on Facebook, and then we were just like private messaging each other like every week as the episodes were coming out. And he's like, dude, this is like my favorite anime ever. I'm like, oh, this is my thing. I'm like, I know you're an anime guy, but I'm like, this is my thing. The kaiju, the giant henshin heroes. I'm like, this is what I'm into, man. I'm like, I'm so happy to see somebody else out there talking about it serious, because it flew way under the radar. And
it really did. I don't understand what happened.
I really hope we get a physical release just so I can complete the set. I got Gridman here, Dynazenon.
I know.
We need...
That's the way I feel about
Please,
it.
Crunchyroll, give us a physical, and then maybe throw the dub in there. That would be cool if you do pull off the dub, but I doubt that's coming.
At this
I
point,
don't think it's
I
coming.
highly doubt
They
it.
took long enough to give us the movie, but
Yeah.
yeah. But I think that about wraps it up. We'll be back with another episode soon, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And thank you for watching.
All right. See you guys.